Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unbound Life. This is where we break down personal finance concepts in a way that's simple and relatable. We love engaging with like minded folks like you, so feel free to drop your thoughts in the comments. Today, we are diving into a super practical retirement planning approach. You might have heard about it, the bucket theory. So, what is this strategy? Let's get started. Let's start with this question: what's the biggest worry when it comes to retirement? Most people would say, will my money last? Or, what if the market crashes right after I retire? That's exactly what the bucket strategy helps with. It's a simple yet effective way to balance stability and growth. It does need a lot of oversight, but once you get a hang of it, you understand how to put your money in different buckets so that you're not forced to sell investments during a downturn. And by the way, did you know this strategy is rooted in the work of Nobel laureate James Tobin, who actually started by emphasizing that you need to separate your assets based on risk. Alright, let's dive into the 3 bucket system. So think of your retirement money divided into 3 buckets. The first bucket is going to be the short-term bucket. This will cover your expenses for the next 3 to 5 years, right? So you're not at the mercy of what's going on in the stock market, what's happening in the Nifty and Sensex, etc. So think of it like your money invested in FDs, liquid funds, etc. The second bucket is going to be the medium-term bucket. This would include assets which balance between some growth but still relatively safer assets, and money for the next 5 to 10 years is parked in this bucket. So there is some equity exposure but in a very measured manner. And then the third bucket is the long-term bucket, which includes your riskier growth assets, since you don't have to touch this bucket for the next 10 years. So you have to take a 10 plus year view of this bucket, and this is where you can keep the money to get adjusted over inflation and for the longer run. So the idea is simple: spend from bucket 1, refill it from bucket 2, and let bucket 3 grow over time. Let's imagine this. The bigger picture here is growth versus stability, right? So it's not just about saving the money, but it's also ensuring once you've retired, it's also ensuring that your money is lasting your lifetime. So many retirees will usually struggle because they're either playing it too safe or they're going too aggressive with their expenses and spending money. So the bucket strategy will help balancing these two and ensure that your money is growing while you're also ensuring that the future is safe. So it gives you the confidence, because when markets crash, you know that your short-term money is safe, and over a period of time, the long-term bucket is again going to recover because you have a longer-term horizon, right? All right, let's move on to how will withdrawals actually work in this scenario. So you will start withdrawing your monthly expenses from bucket 1. That will be your cash, your fixed income bucket. Every 1 or 2 years, you will refill bucket 1 from bucket 2, which is your debt funds, your balanced funds, etc. And every 3 to 5 years, you move some of the profits from bucket 3 into bucket 2, ensuring you always have enough in lower risk investments. However, make sure that when you are touching your bucket 3, every time you think that you need to move something from bucket 3 to bucket 2 or bucket 1, you're not going through a downturn in the market. Typically try to avoid selling anything at that point of time and moving things. If you have a gold allocation, or if you have some other sources of income which are more stable in nature, fixed income, If you can take money from there, continue to take money from there in a market downturn. Let maybe your bucket 1 or 2 deplete a little further. However, it makes a lot of sense to wait for that downturn to be over. Eventually markets come up, and that's when you withdraw from your bucket 3. Great. So let's look at the bucket strategy in the view of early versus normal retirement. So not everyone might be aspiring to retire at 60. There might be people who are planning for financial independence and retiring early. So there is slight differences, in fact quite a lot of differences between how one should plan their retirement buckets in both these scenarios. So one, the retirement corpus that's required is going to be higher if you're retiring early, because you need the money to be lasting longer. The withdrawal rate for early retirees should also be lesser. It should be close to, I would even say that it should be close to 3.3 to 3.5 to ensure that you don't run out of money. That is the safe withdrawal rate for financial independence when you're aspiring to FIRE. The equity allocation for early retirees would also be higher, because you need to ensure that while you've taken maybe the 10-15 years of early retirement, you need to make sure that the equity portion keeps growing in the third bucket, right? So the equity allocation would also be relatively high. The sequence of returns risk is basically when you start drawing from your investments, especially the equity investments, is say in year 1 you withdraw the money and the market is going through a downturn, you will end up depleting your portfolio faster. So in case of market downturns, there is a potential that sequence of returns risk might also affect early retirees more. So better risk management is required to be instilled in a early retirees portfolio when it comes to sequence of returns risk. Pension and passive income, if you retire early, is important. So make sure that you have a longer runway to generate passive income. And I know that everything is passive income technically in retirement. However, by this, what we mean is interest income, rent, dividend. If you are choosing for coast fire, then is there any side gigs that you're doing that can bring you some money? All of these things should be the focus first before you start drawing anything out of your equity investments, and then making sure that how often you look at your portfolio. So that's also a critical piece in early retirement versus late retirement. Is to in early retirement you might want to be looking at rebalancing a bit more every now and then to ensure that the money lasts longer and you are in control, because in case of a normal retirement you might have the money to take lesser risks, right? So the need for rebalancing might be lesser. So these are some differences while applying the bucket strategy in early versus normal retirement. I hope this has given you some clarity of bucket theory. Obviously, you need to sit with a financial planner and discuss all of this. So I hope this was helpful. So it's a powerful way to manage risk and make your money last through retirement. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Drop in a comment. Are you planning early retirement? Are you planning your bucket strategy? How many buckets in your strategy? There could be more than one ways of doing this. However, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you in the next one. Bye bye.